Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. It's a Monday, and we got a special guest coming up later in the program. Today, our guest is Christine Bronstein, and she is the author of a book called Stewie BOOM, and it's talking about all these people having kiddos. So excited to chat with Christine later in the program. Ancient Egyptians slept on pillows made out of stone. How would you like a hard pillow? That doesn't sound like fun to me. I'm not exactly sure why you would even need that. Hey, simply observing a coworker performing a different task can slow you down. So you don't even need to be multitasking. You can watch somebody else while you're doing something else. That'll slow you down. According to the Journal of Human Movement. It says here, when you watch someone filing, your brain acts like you're filing too, even if you're writing a memo. So don't pay attention to them. Do your own thing.
Huh.
And last thing here is there are bacteria in your eyes that are actually pooping and mating right now. So next time you think everything else is going fine, just remember that. Oh, boy. We got some stuff coming up on this date. We'll tell you all about it in a bit. Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Monday, December the 12th. It's Gingerbread House Day. I thought that was over the weekend. Maybe not.
It was gingerbread.
That was decorate your gingerbread house day.
Yeah, it was decorate gingerbread day. Gingerbread decorate, not gingerbread house, just gingerbread in general, like cookies.
Oh, okay. Well, and our daughter makes gingerbread houses with Grandma all the time. Green Monday today. It is a National 12-Hour Fresh Breath Day today. Okay. National Cocoa Day. I love hot cocoa. We should have some of that. It's just Cocoa Day, though. We'll have to warm it up. It's National Lost Day. It's National Day of Our Guadalupe. No, what is it? Our Lady of Guadalupe Poinsettia Day. There we go.
Okay.
I think is what it is. Or maybe it's just Poinsettia Day and those are two different things. I might have deleted a comma. I don't know. A lot of stuff going on today. So get out there and celebrate. And do it with cocoa and get lost while you're doing it. And that way you're going to be celebrating correctly.
John and Heidi.
This is my favorite time of year. The lights, the fun parties, and the family get-togethers. Many of us have boxes of home videos capturing these memories. But sadly, these memories are fading away because the videotape was not the best format. My friend CJ has a business called Tape It Up Reproductions. They transfer your precious memories to a digital format with the option to enhance the audio and the video to make them look and sound better than ever. His website is tapingitup.com, or you can call or text 412-766-1679.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. You can blame it on mom and dad, and for that matter, grandma and grandpa as well. If you don't like to exercise, it's not your fault anymore. It's in your genes, Heidi. What do you think of that?
I could see that. If you weren't raised exercising and it's not part of your daily routine, I can definitely see that.
Well, they say that genes that modulate the dopamine, that's your feel-good chemical in your brain, appear to play a role in our propensity to embrace or avoid exercise. Wow, that was kind of a smart sentence I said right there.
There you go.
I impressed myself. According to research from the University of Georgia, if you have to look at any group of people to know that some exercise frequently... you have to look at any... Remember that impressive thing I just did? Wipe that away. You have to look at any group of people to know that some exercise frequently and others prefer to sit on the sofa. Now it appears that part of our brain drives rewards for the part of the brain that drives the motor system that interacts, causing some of us to want to run a marathon and others to want to just binge watch our favorite show on TV. So the translation is... Gym rats get a rush from working out as dopamine levels soar, while couch potatoes appear to have a genetic makeup that interferes with the release of dopamine. And I'm going to guess it was probably not the people that are physically fit that did this study.
I wonder if there was something you could do to change that makeup in your brain so that
get a shot?
So that you would react that way and you would want to exercise.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's just something that you could do that would
solve
that problem.
Some quick fix. I don't know. That's a good idea,
Because if you could make your brain want to exercise, then you would exercise, and it would be a healthier lifestyle.
Wow, we should come up with that and do an infomercial.
There we go.
Yeah, the John and Heidi infomercial. Thinking that's a good idea. All I know is it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. When donating to charity, one thing you don't want to donate is your drugs. Police said whoever donated a water jug to a charity in Southeast Ohio probably didn't mean to be quite so generous. The jug had $1,500 worth of marijuana inside of it. Police say local workers at a Goodwill Industries found 4 bags of marijuana when they looked inside a water jug. It was left outside by an anonymous donor. The 2-gallon metal jug is about a pound or so of marijuana had inside of it. They turned it over to the police. Marietta Police Captain Jeff Waite said, the jug is probably an antique. He said the authorities would be more than happy for the jug's donor to come forward to claim it.
I'm sure they would.
You guys come back and get your jug. Hey, this is probably worth something. Sure, you didn't mean to drop this off. Funny thing is, somebody might do that. Oh, yeah, that is mine. Can I get the drugs too? That's $1,500 worth of my stuff. Yeah. Anyway, coming up, we've got your moment of duh. That is on the way.
John and Heidi.
If you're lazy and you know it, clap your hands. Okay, I guess they're not going to clap their hands because they're too lazy to do it. But if you have no ambition and you're, maybe looking for a job, head to England because they have banned employers from using words like hardworking and enthusiastic on their advertisements. Jonathan Stevenson, manager of a center from England there, says,
that is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard.
He says, they're not encouraging ads to be an invitation for lazy workers, but, something so ludicrous. Why would you say something so ludicrous, he says. Instead, what we're really trying to do is the words like hardworking and enthusiastic discriminate against some people who maybe are not hardworking and not enthusiastic.
Well, maybe everybody should be hardworking.
Well, he says it could even be people who are disabled. So, employment
disabled
minister,
people can be hardworking.
Exactly. I know several people with disabilities who are very hardworking.
Absolutely.
And very, what was the other word?
And very enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic. So, anyway, this is all going on over in England. So
it's ridiculous.
Oh, there you go. That's why we're here. We're not there. We've got your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. A new study finds you need to unplug every 90 minutes. According to the report authors, they say the most effective way to work is in sprints. So work really hard, then unplug for about 90 minutes or maybe 2 hours. They say...
What? I don't think your employer would be very happy about that.
Well, they say the brain can only focus for that amount of time before it needs a break.
Unplug for 2 hours. I'm on my third 2 hour break.
Oh, I'm sorry. Unplug every 90 minutes to 2 hours. I was reading it wrong. No, you're supposed to.
I was going to say, there's no way.
Yeah. I think that's where,
Not
you go
unless
to
you work in England.
Yeah, apparently. If you miss that story, you miss that story. But apparently what you're supposed to do is you go to work for a couple hours, then take a little break, then go to work for a couple hours, then take a little break. That's kind of what most people do
A
anyway.
little break, yes, but not 90 minutes to 2 hours.
Can we go back to that? Because I like that. Hey, for most pizza lovers, Domino's is just a phone call away or a click away, but there's some unlucky folks who live along rivers out in the country, but now delivery is going to be an option because they're going to deliver by canoe. What?
Oh, my.
A new waterway service is only available along the River Luce in Maidstone, Kent, in England. The customers of Domino's there will get to order their food, and a riverside pizza buoy wearing a full wetsuit, will bring it to them. So I have a video, if you want to see this, at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. I think it's ridiculous. I'm just saying, you chose to live there. I'm sorry. A Texas man has been jailed for using Twitter to harass other people. I didn't know you could be arrested for that. I thought that you'd get elected president for that.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry. You got to admit, it's kind of funny. Dr. Stephen Pretlove says if you want to rid your dust mites, your bedroom of dust mites, all you have to do is leave your bed unmade. I remember reading this not too long ago.
Yes, you've read this.
And it says a good thing here is that all you have to do is not make your bed, because it says Dust mites survive by taking in water from the atmosphere using a small gland on the outside of their body. This good doctor explains that something as simple as leaving your bed unmade during the day can remove enough moisture from your sheets and mattress so the mites will dehydrate and die.
Oh, so then you're sleeping with dead mites.
Well, would you rather sleep with dead mites or live mites?
I'd rather not sleep with any mites.
No.
You know what? I really don't care. You don't see them anyway, so who cares?
I care. Me. That's who cares. I care. According to researchers at the Hershey Center for Health and Nutrition, chocolate is good for your health. Once again, this is from the Hershey Center for Health and Nutrition. The findings show, among other things, that dark chocolate and cocoa powder have a great antioxidant capacity, and it's even better than fruit juices. So there you go. Fat o'clock. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
It's the time we ditch our diet and start eating comfort food. So like, hey, I did really well until like this afternoon, and then all of a sudden I saw that jelly donut. But guess what time fat o'clock is for most people?
I would say after you get home from work.
Yeah, 7 p.m. Sunday nights are the worst. Almost half in the study fell for comfort foods between 7 and 10 p.m., mainly on Sundays. So I can see that. You're like, man, I did really good all weekend long. And finally, a study at UC Berkeley found that if students had their eyes and their ears and their hands covered, they could find their way across the field on their hands and knees just by sniffing the trail with their noses. What are they doing at Berkeley where they need to do that? Does that sound like so? You're home for Christmas vacation. It's great to have you home. What you guys doing there at Berkeley? You know, all that money we're spending to send you to school. Well, we were on our hands and
This is actually the sort of thing I would imagine that they do at Berkeley. I'm not at all surprised.
Sniffing our way across a field.
Yeah. I don't know what that's supposed to teach them.
I don't know either. Well, at least now we know. So there you go. Coming up, we got a guest that's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Radio advertising works. When it's done right, it works even better. There are many things you can do to get a better response, and shouting sale really isn't the best thing, believe it or not. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? If you're trying to get people to remember your company, consider a jingle. We work with one of the very best jingle companies in the business, and we'd love to use music to help you grow your company. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We're getting closer and closer to Christmas, and they say it's the most wonderful time of the year. Okay, I'll quit singing. But it's not always the most wonderful time of the year. It can be, but it can also be the most stressful time of the year, depending on who you are. Today, we're going to be visiting with Christine Bronstein. She is an author, and she is a publisher, and she's got a series of children's books called Stewie BOOM. So if you've seen the Stewie BOOM book series, that's who we're going to be talking with today, the author of those. And Christine is going to talk to us about teaching your kids to cope with change, because we get all kinds of change that happens during the holidays. So first of all, let's just say hello to Christine. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're glad to have you on the program. We're sneaking right up on the holidays here, and can be a time that can be a little confusing for some kids. We get all kinds of habits and things that change during that time, and you've got ideas on how kids can cope with that change, don't you?
I sure do.
So as we get to Christmas vacation, or the holiday break, I guess is what they call it now, when we get to that time and, you know, everybody's schedule kind of shifts a little bit, what are some ideas that maybe parents can utilize to make this a little better for the kids?
Yeah, I mean, the holidays are hustle and bustle and sometimes travel, and a lot of these we don't realize can be stressful for kids. And also when parents get stressed out, then the kids feel that, and they also get stressed out. And so that's one thing we have to remember as parents is to manage our stress and take care of ourselves, because that will affect them greatly. And then also routines are super important during breaks, especially breaks where a lot of stuff is happening. So keeping your kids on their sleep routine if possible and when possible is very important. And also letting your kids have a part, say, in the planning process of how the holidays will go. One of the most important things, I think, is to schedule downtime so that you have quiet, relaxing time to read books, take naps, stuff we don't usually allow ourselves to do.
But those are good things to kind of help recharge, too, aren't they?
Yes, exactly. That's really what the, vacations and holiday breaks should be about.
And nowadays there are a lot of split families, so how does that change the dynamics?
Absolutely. I have 13 years experience in a split family home. So I speak from experience on this as well as research. And, flexibility, you have to be flexible. Things are going to change. For us, for example, my stepson was always with his mother on Christmas. It was really important for her. And so we didn't make him go back and forth. We just let him be there for Christmas. And we just celebrated Christmas on the 23rd. So our younger children think Santa comes on the 23rd. That's just what they think. And so we just had to be flexibility in our scheduling and routines to make it smooth for the kids. And always being the person that you want to be, no matter what the other person is doing. We found that to be a really important thing to be thinking about. What kind of person do you want to be for your kids? What kind of role model do you want to be modeling? Do you want to be calm and flexible? Do you want them to see that's what adults can be? And as much as you can, maintaining good communication with the other parent, letting the kids take kind of whatever they want back and forth. I remember sort of getting frustrated because he would pack like 4 suitcases, to fly to LA. But I would just check myself and be like, let him take whatever he needs, feel comfortable, because it's hard to have to go back and forth. He was pretty young when he started.
Again, our guest today is Christine Bronstein, author of the Stewie BOOM children's book series. How long have these books been out, Christine?
I started writing them for my middle son, who has above average disregard for authority. So I started writing them way back in 2009 for him when he was having trouble transitioning into school. My pediatrician recommended to write some little stories because I couldn't find anything out there that's an adult with his type of personality entering school. And then I published them in 2012, Stewie BOOM Starts School, and then Stewie BOOM Boss of the Big Boy Bed, and then what we did with Dr. Bill Sears, which was great, and then Stewie BOOM and Princess Penelope in the case of the ooey gooey gross and very stinky experiment came out this year.
That is awesome. If you'd like to know more about the books, the website stewieBOOM.com has all kinds of great stuff on there. Christine, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us, and thank you for caring not just about your kids, but about the kids of America and helping give some tips to help kids deal with the holiday stresses that we're all going to be going through.
Yeah, I hope it's helpful, and thanks for having me.
Again, our guest today has been Christine Bronstein, and her website, once again, is stewieBOOM.com. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
When is the last time you changed the air filter on your furnace? Now, don't be embarrassed. That happens to a bunch of us. The furnace filter should be changed often. This will help your heating and cooling system run more efficiently, and it'll even extend the life of your system. Now, there's an easy way to make it happen. Filter Easy, a new subscription service that delivers your size filter right to your door on the schedule you choose. It's easy. Filter Easy. One less thing to worry about. Learn about a special offer available now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In the animated version from Disney, Doc is the only one of the 7 dwarves that wears glasses. Kind of cool. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
You can send a coconut through the mail without any further wrapping. All you got to do is stick a stamp on it and somehow carve an address in it.
I've heard that about potatoes, too.
I don't know why you'd want to do that. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
According to a recent study, the thing men least like to talk about is what? Clothing.
Oh, okay.
Clothing. Does that make sense to you?
I was going to say feelings, but...
I'd rather
Okay.
talk about my feeling than my clothing. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In the United States, deaf people have safer driving records than people that have hearing. And that's a national statistic. That's kind of crazy. I didn't know that. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Our government once used your tax dollars for a study on why inmates want to escape from prison. They spent $27,000 on that.
Lord.
I think the reason is because, I don't know,
They're in prison.
Can I get a grant? I just figured that one out.
Lord.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.
John and Heidi.
This is Richard Lustig, the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. They do all the work. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, to give yourself the best chance of winning, go to radiolottopool.com and join today. Again, that website is radiolottopool.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. When you're cooking on the grill, do you remember to save a little for your puppy dog? I don't.
You don't let me.
I won't. I don't like that. The question should be, or maybe it would be, what do you barbecue for your puppy dog? Or maybe the question should be, why are you barbecuing for your dog in the first place? Anyway, here's the dilemma. A grocery store in England has developed a new line of barbecue especially for puppy dogs. The store, it's called Asda, A-S-D-A, has launched a line of barbecues for dogs containing pork sausage and mushroom in barbecue sauce. The company went through rigorous quality testing and tried the recipe out on special tasting panel of 100 hungry dogs. Asda says they're considering a range of pet foods for Christmas for cats, and they would have fish dinners for cats. So,
all right.
Do you think our dogs would like barbecue stuff?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was a thing, that our dogs would like to grill out. So
Every time
we... meat, any kind of meat, but I'm just saying, barbecue in particular, where you'd want to have, like, barbecue sauce, wouldn't that be really messy?
No, I don't think you'd want to give them barbecue sauce.
But that's what these guys are doing. They're giving a barbecue sauce, a special kind of barbecue sauce. I can just imagine that we'd have, like, whiskers covered in, like, all over the face.
It would be messy.
Oh, yeah, because, like, I have a goatee, and there are even times when I get that stuff in my goatee, and I'm like, I gotta go clean things up here. I wish that my tongue was long enough I could just lick it out, because I'm like, it's so good.
That's nice.
Did we just go too far? I'm like,
Not me.
Just
don't look at me.
Me talking about delicious goodness of barbecue. And here, the only thing I can think of all the way through this story is, I kind of want to try this dog barbecue to see if it's good.
Wow.
I wonder if it's people friendly. All right. Coming up in a moment, we've got going to talk about a person who came back to life in Sicily. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This is my favorite time of year. The lights, the fun parties, and the family get-togethers. Many of us have boxes of home videos capturing these memories. But sadly, these memories are fading away because the videotape was not the best format. My friend CJ has a business called Tape It Up Reproductions. They transfer your precious memories to a digital format with the option to enhance the audio and the video to make them look and sound better than ever. His website is tapingitup.com, or you can call or text 412-766-1679.
John and Heidi.
A Sicilian family got the shock of their lives when a dead relative popped up out of his coffin and asked for something to drink.
Oh, my.
Can you even imagine?
They must not do the whole embalming thing there.
Apparently not.
Apparently, when they think you're dead, they just throw you in a box
I
and
don't
say,
know.
okay.
Robert De Simone, 79, had complained of feeling ill. He was rushed to the hospital where he suffered a heart attack. Doctors got his ticker started again with a shot of adrenaline, but 12 hours later, he was pronounced brain dead. Family took his body for a traditional wake. They laid him out on a bed in his best suit. Friends and relatives stopped by to pray over their late loved one. Then, his grieving wife and daughters, Rosarie and Anne, were in full swing, praying and weeping, and he sat up and said, "I'd like some water, please. I'm awfully thirsty." Turns out he was not dead. He was in a coma.
Yeah.
Can you even imagine that?
There was a relative of mine that they took off of life support, and there was literally starving her. They were waiting for her to die. She had been in, vegetative state or whatever for a long time, and about 3 days later, she woke up and asked for a sandwich.
Wow. The retiree was raced back to the hospital where doctors pronounced him as fit as a fiddle, and they sent him home with his overjoyed wife. This is what happened.
There you go.
Okay, things are done differently there. Coming up, we've got some fuel-saving tips. That is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, people are spending a little time driving, maybe going out doing their shopping, traveling to see family. If you'd like to save some fuel, listen to these fuel-saving tips. You ready for that?
I'm ready.
Have your tires inflated to 300. I'm sorry, not 300. Wow. Have your tires inflated to 32 pounds of pressure. That'll improve your gas mileage by as much as 6%. Do not go to 300. They'll explode. According to AutoZone, every 200 pounds of unnecessary weight shaves off a mile per gallon of your fuel mileage. So if you got extra junk in the trunk, you might want to go to the gym. No, I'm just kidding.
That's true.
Clean out the trunk is what I mean. I have junk in my trunk, so I'm trying to figure out how much extra gas am I burning. Just
A lot.
Just me driving around.
With both of us in the car, it's
The next
not a
one,
good thing.
Another fuel-saving tip, drive slower. A car or truck moving at 55 miles an hour gets about 15% better fuel economy than the exact same car going 65 miles per hour. Another one, don't waste fuel by sitting in the drive-through lane. Go inside instead, because now you're going to save fuel, and you're going to walk in, you're going to walk out, and you're going to burn off a little bit of the food just by doing that. So even if you get it to go, that's a good idea. And then the last one says clean out your trunk, your cargo area, whatever. So it's kind of the same thing. And they're saying that you, in addition to saving fuel, some of that stuff you can maybe sell and get rid of it completely. So a couple of fun little fuel-saving tips on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, we celebrate with family and friends.
And sometimes that involves drinking.
If you're going to be celebrating, please have a designated driver.
I lost my cousins to a drunk driver. They were only 8 and 12 years old.
Their lives were cut short because the driver was drunk and made a terrible choice.
Make good choices. Have a designated driver.
If you or a loved one has a problem with drugs or alcohol, now may be a great time for the gift of sobriety.
You can call Keystone Treatment Center at 844-204-1055.
That's toll-free, 844-204-1055.
John and Heidi.
When you think of sports, typically you think of quite a bit of noise, all kinds of people like cheering and
Sure.
the game, getting into it. So what would you say is the world's quietest sport?
Golf.
I don't know. Well, here's the biggest trend in youth sports. It's not headbands or baggy shorts. It's quiet parents. The Northwest Rio Grande Soccer League is the latest youth organization to instill another silent Saturday.
Oh,
A
so
day
that
when-
their parents aren't picking on the kids.
A day when parents and coaches are not allowed to complain or yell at kids or referees. Encouragement will be allowed, but if parents or coaches yell at a referee or tell their kid how to play, they get a fine of $5. Well, you'd rack up like $50 before the game even starts. Field marshals will be patrolling the sidelines during the game. If one sideline has more than 3 violations on Silent Saturday, it could be cleared of its spectators. Money generated from the fines, you might be wondering where that's going to go?
Snow cones. Free snow cones for everybody
No.
after the game.
It's going to go to charity. I don't know who Charity is, but she's going to get a lot of fines, I think. It's funny because you were just doing a little Brian Regan bit there, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
He's our favorite comedian.
He's amazing.
If you don't know who Brian Regan is, you really, truly need to get on YouTube and type in Brian Regan, and you'll laugh and laugh and laugh. And then you'll also understand us a little better, too, because that's something that the two of us have in common is we both love him, but she loves him a lot differently than I do. She says she's going to leave me for him someday, and she told him that to his face. So he just looked at me and was like, I'm sorry. Yeah, me too. So coming up, by the way, the free snow cones thing. Yeah, look at that one on YouTube. That'll make you laugh. That's a good one.
Funny stuff.
Coming up in a bit, we do have some good news, and we got some fun stuff to share with that on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news. And I've got varying degrees of good news lately. I got some really good news and some kind of good news. So I'm going to have Heidi tell me how good this good news is. Isaiah Austin, the former Baylor basketball star who was diagnosed with Marfan syndrome during his 2014 NBA draft combine workout, has been cleared by doctors to return to playing basketball. According to ESPN, 7'1" Austin was notified of the health issue just days before the 2014 draft, and he was recommended to quit playing basketball immediately. Well, this week he announced his plans to return to the game. He posted, "I'm a God-fearing man, and I believe that everything happens in life for a reason. So why would God put it in my doctor's hearts to say that I was cleared if he didn't want me to go and chase my dream and share my testimony with millions of people around the world?" End quote. How cool is that?
That is cool.
Now, the reason that I wanted to make sure that I drew a little bit of attention to this, our son, who is 6'3", was that they were concerned that he had Marfan syndrome.
Yes.
Abraham Lincoln had Marfan syndrome. Michael Phelps, the swimmer, has Marfan syndrome. And this not football player. We're not sports people. What was he again? Basketball player. That's what the NBA does these days.
Everybody has always asked our son if he was a basketball player.
Oh, all the time. And that's one of the funny things. When he was getting his senior pictures, he wanted to do one with a basketball, even though he's never played, just because everybody's always, so do you play basketball? No. So this guy's 7'1" and had Marfan syndrome. And the good news is he was cleared to go and play in the NBA. So that's awesome.
That's cool.
Very good news. I've got a link to this story at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show if you want to check that out. And thank you for listening. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.